Hi, and welcome to a new episode of Agora Studio Visit, a sneak peek into our artists' creative process. We're your hosts. I'm Andrea, the social media coordinator at Agora Gallery, together with Sabrina, the director of marketing and PR. And today we have a special episode with a guest all the way from Italy.
Yes, well, we have two guests from Italy, our former colleague, Chiara Mortaroli, who we're so excited to have here joining us once again, and also Sigrid Thaler, also joining us from Italy. We're very excited to have you as well and to finally see you in person here in our virtual space.
Anche per me è bellissimo conoscere tutti quanti. Ieri ho conosciuto Andra ed è un piacere. Ringrazio tutti quanti che posso essere qui con Agora Gallery perché è un'emozione e ringrazio tutto lo staff che è sempre stato gentilissimo e professionale a seguirmi da quando sono rappresentata con voi.
Thanking everyone. She's very happy to be joining this conversation, and also she's thanking the staff, the whole staff, because she says everyone has been super kind and available for her, so she's very happy and she's very thankful.
So Sigrid, would you like to give us a little introduction, tell us about your work, give us your background.
She's from a northern region in Italy. Of course, Trentino Alto Adige is a little typical region because the first language over there for a lot of people like herself and her mom is German. In fact, their native language is actually German, not Italian, even if she is Italian. She now lives in Milan, but that's where she's originally from. She was basically self-taught because she had big inspiration in her family from her grandfather. He has been her inspiration because he had a studio and he was kind of the creative one in the family and was doing a lot of creative things, from building little trains for kids to gnomes in oil and watercolors. He was doing a lot of artistic things, and she was very influenced. Also, she said that one big influence for her comes from her Nordic culture because all the fairy tales that she was told, the nature, so this kind of mystic atmosphere that she comes from, and nature and fairy tales, you can see them in her work. She comes from a kind of close family, very religious. So for her, drawing, it was kind of a rebellious act to do something different because she was told kind of all her life that she had to aspire to have a stable life, family, find a stable and safe job. So she literally says she ran away to Austria, where she attended university to study graphic arts, and then came to Milan, which opened her mind and also grew her self-esteem. She also said it was difficult at the beginning. She was studying at the IED, which is a school of design, and she still had to pay for rent and bills, so she found a job. And she worked in an office, but she was also wanted to draw. She didn't want to give that up. So she started doing illustration for children books and also for scholar books for literally the school. And she started in this publishing house. This publishing house was taking her drawing and publishing them. So somehow she found that she was in a compromise. She found a compromise between paying her bills, being self-sufficient, but also doing her drawings. Mm-hmm. And everything changed in 2017 when this publishing house basically reached out to her and asked her to use some of her drawings and feature them in this board game called Modern Art. And she was picked among international and recognized artists. So she was very surprised at first, and then she said she had a kick on her self-esteem because she won, among all of them. And as for today, people still reach out to her asking her for prints that they see on the game. And So yeah, basically that's what she said, that this is the moment in her life where she had a revelation, kind of an epiphany of, I don't want to just be an illustrator. I want to be an artist. I can do it, and I'm gonna do it. This kind of period of time that she worked as an illustrator gave her the chance to acquire many digital skills, like learning to do digital art. So she mastered Photoshop, which as per today is one of the tools that she uses to make her work, meaning that many times she prepares the work on Photoshop or on digital, then she prints it and she paints all work with different mediums on that print. So this entire set of skills is very useful for her. She still uses it. And talking about the different medium that she likes to work with, she says that because she does a lot of research before starting to work, she has been experimenting with different mediums. Over the past 2 years, she's very fond of gold leaves. She's very fascinated by the Japanese culture, and that's why she's using them. And also lately she's been fond also black iron. She also works on paper, collages. She really likes to change and experiment as much as possible.
I have a few of Sigrid's artwork, so maybe I could share them so she could tell us a bit about each.
So she said this is a digital work. She did it digitally, then she scanned it, then she painted over it, and scanned it again, and then kept painting, applying brushes, all on digital. And it has a very interesting story, because she said that this is the cover of a poetry book of an artist. I didn't hear her right, if it was an artist or a teacher from Kentucky.
Della high school?
A teacher, okay. A high school teacher, which found there through the game Modern Art that she was mentioning before, because he reached out to her asking her for a print of one of the works that he saw on Modern Art. And then a couple years later, if I understood correctly, he wrote a poetry book, and he basically remembered of her and reached out asking her to create the cover of his book, which she has, because he kindly shipped it to her once it was published. Okay, so this is also an illustration that she did for the book, for the Modern Art board game, it's done in digital, and this is an artwork that represents our past. It's a reflection on certain themes like friendship, like how we are in a certain way, and then through the years people can take different paths. And it kind of represents certain experiences and conflicts that shaken her in the past, and the way she went through them, and the way that she kind of got over them as well. It's also for the board game, and also it kind of talks about her and her emotions, and specifically certain type of emotions that comes from real experiences that put her that were very challenging for her, but then she moved on. So this it talks about her emotions and how to move on from challenging experiences, basically.
What mediums are you using in the illustrations, Sigrid?
Guarda, anche in questo è in digitale, fatto in Photoshop. Sempre poi ho scansionato delle carte e poi ci ho lavorato in Photoshop su questo. Ho usato anche fotografie, assieme è un collage realizzato in Photoshop.
So this is like the other ones. It's based in Photoshop and it's layered and reworked. Okay. I'm just I know that in your current work you use a lot of, like you mentioned earlier, a lot of mixed mediums. So
let's take a look at the current work.
Transition from such precise illustrations and working it with the new mediums. How you transitioned into that?
She said that that's one of her latest work. It's on black iron. She treats it, prepares it before. These are a series of work where she uses these gold leaves, and she said that she draws and she has a project in her mind before starting, but oftentimes it just goes somewhere else where she following what she can see and what she sees. And that first work, but this is a series of 4, is called Roots, and it talks basically about how important it is to come back to our own roots and find our own essential self, and to let out the frenetic life of everyday busy routine. It hasn't been easy for her because although, you know, she's kind of used to stay home and she works and all of that, actually working has been her escape right now from this lockdown. She says she needs the nature and the contact with other people in order to keep going. So she said this is the last work she did now, and it's an explosion of nature and colors, which is something that she's not that used to. Usually she uses also dark colors, but right now this just symbolizes her great desire and need to get back in contact with the outside world.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So are you starting to, I know that, well, we were speaking with Chiara earlier, but hopefully you'll get back at it soon. Are you starting to be out and about more now that things are being lifted in Italy?
She hasn't gone out yet. She said this second phase is definitely something more, but it still feels like the phase 1 with just tiny little bit of things more, but she cannot wait to go, but she's still holding on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you. That's how we are as well. Like you don't quite trust
our phase
right
2 is basically your phase 1, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you for this, Sigrid. This is, I'd like to see the transition of your work from your commercial illustrations into your paintings. I think it's really nice to see how they've evolved into what they are now. And I'm looking forward to seeing them in person, especially with all the texture that goes into them. I think is really exciting and something to behold in person for sure. Andra, did you have some questions to ask as well?
I had a few fun questions for Sigrid. So I wanted to ask if she has a favorite artwork from her portfolio. If she was to choose just one, which one of them would it be?
So her favorite one is, I don't know you guys how it's translated in English, but it's Awakening.
Mm-hmm.
Is the artwork that you showed before with gold leaves, and his one that is her favorite. It's kind of a sign of what was going to happen afterwards, because she did it before the pandemic, and it talked about how we go from being in nature to being guests of nature. Like we are a guest of the nature, it's not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
And so the work represents these figures that comes out of nature in a way. For her now, seeing it now kind of makes her think that she felt in a way what was going to happen, not in this magnitude, but you know, because it talks about this, where you see these figures that comes out of nature, kind of like
I see this one.
Way.
Yeah. Okay.
Un risveglio
Here. Okay.
della natura e anche un risveglio dell'uomo.
The human being awakened to nature, and you know, realizing that we are a guest of nature. We are guests on this planet, kind of thing.
Okay, and my second question: if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
She would love to be able to fly. She dreams often about flying, and that would be really something amazing for her to experience. She did the zip line from one mountain to the other ones, and it was one of the most exciting things. Io sono d'accordo, l'ho fatta in Ecuador, la zipline fra 2 montagne, è una cosa fantastica.
Mamma mia, è una cosa che non si dimentica. Di volare, veramente la sensazione di volare.
Yeah, they're
You
really
feel like
spectacular.
flying, yeah.
We're building one in my backyard right now, actually.
You told me.
Yeah, it's true, but it's not like the kind you do in the mountains or in the jungle. That's really spectacular. Yeah, I see that your work. I can see that the flight. It's a good quality. Absolutely. All right. So, well, thank you so much, Sigrid. It's nice to see you in your space. And
Grazie tantissimo a voi, per me è stato un immenso piacere, ecco, di poter fare questo meeting e di poter parlare anche di me, di parlare di quello che dipingo, ecco, di raccontare i miei lavori. Grazie.
She was very happy. I forgot, it's my fault to mention before she was talking about mixed medium, that she used that even the sculpture that you see on her background, she did them. Sorry, because when you were talking. She's very grateful to be in this meeting and to having had the opportunity to talk about our work.
yes, us as well. We look forward to seeing you and your work next.
Non vedo l'ora di venire da voi a New York a ottobre e spero che sarà possibile esporre con voi, ecco.
Yeah, us as well. We're really looking forward to it, and we're hopeful as well for things to normalize so that you can come over and we can see your work in person. Yeah, thank you. All right. Andra, anything else that you wanted to add?
Yeah, just to thank Sigrid for welcoming us into her studio, and thank you, Chiara, for facilitating our communication today and for your input. So it's been vital. So thank you very much.